Hello, this is Paradox 2767, and today I thought I'd talk a little bit about making maps for D&D. My wife's asleep in the other room, and I thought I'd let her continue to do so, so I guess I'll be bringing you kind of a low-quality ASMR-style video with these whispering voices in your head instead of my usual boisterous tone. So, like a couple of my other videos lately, I was inspired to make this D&D video by WASD20, a fabulous channel to check out if you, too, are new to D&D. He has a video on map making, so I thought I'd try my hand at the same. Broadly, this is a city that me and my friends have been visiting when we play D&D. It's called Favengorn, which I find a little hard to pronounce, so I nicknamed it on my map Fortune City. It's a city run on gambling, kind of like a Las Vegas of Middle-earth, if you will. And so I guess I'll start by talking a little bit about the legend you see in the lower left corner. That was my way of organizing the map a little bit, and I think it's a good idea to include in yours, just so you can have a quick reference for what is what. On that legend, I line out the fact that there are casinos, which are ample in the town here, of course, being run by a gambling ring, and those are outlined in blue. So broadly, if you look over the map, you'll see a main stretch of casinos on either side, and then plenty more casinos scattered throughout the town. Besides that, we have a grouping of former temples, because before the gambling ring ran Fortune City, it was run by a sort of temple society who's at war, in a way, with the gambling ring still to this day. Because my team is getting interested in the casino business, I also have outlined on my legend club-owned buildings. There are none yet. We don't yet own any bars or casinos, but that, I think, is one of our goals as we're moving forward. So if that ever happens and we start claiming some of these buildings for our own purposes, those will be outlined in purple. And besides that, there's ruined buildings that we'll put an X through. During our first session, we literally razed the roof, like R-A-Z-E-D, and destroyed an entire bar in the town here. And so once me and my friends get together, we'll decide which of these blue buildings makes the most sense to have been the bar casino for us to have destroyed. And then we'll keep crossing out bars as we destroy them, if indeed that's the direction we want to take it. So WASD20's video got me thinking about some of the things that you too should probably include in your city, and stuff I certainly included in mine. First off, it makes a lot of sense for there to be a river or a large body of water by town, because that's usually where towns crop up, just because it's helpful to have, a source of water, of course, and it's great for travel and things like that. So it would make sense if, while you're building your town, for there to be a river or lake involved. And so you see mine has a river going right through it. Of course, over that river, we have a few bridges for convenience. Besides that, it's good to have some wells throughout the town so people don't have to report all the way back to the river or the lake, and for maybe a different source of water, groundwater, instead of just river water. So you'll see also throughout my town, I have several wells placed out throughout the neighborhoods for people to go to for water. Another thing that would make sense in your city is a source of food, of course. So in the lower right section, you'll see that I have a large area plotted out for farming. Who knows how far that extends? And then some pens for different animals that the villagers might need. There's also a dockyard with some long buildings for storing smaller ships and things like that. And then one big large building where I imagine some ships could be built. Now, I think historically, a lot of these towns kind of started with a main walled section, which you'll see in the lower portion of my map. This would have been when they were first starting to settle the area. They would wall it out for the sake of protection, for the, officials within. And then as the town grew, you see, it quickly outgrew that walled area and expanded far beyond it. Now, I'm assuming this isn't what streets would have looked like if you went back to the Middle Ages time, but I kind of based most of my streets on, I guess, American suburbs, so they have kind of a regularity to them, which would have perhaps been foreign to someone from the era of D&D, if that makes any sense. But I was okay with that sort of suburban look, and it was a good idea to use that method to organize my town. Now, the main stretch of casinos I actually based on Las Vegas. So you'll see there's a kind of a pyramid-shaped one for Luxor right next door to that. There is like the double L shape that would be reminiscent of Excalibur. And I have a cluster of buildings for New York, New York. So that's how I kind of shaped a lot of the buildings on the strip there. Because, like I said, it's basically a medieval Vegas we've been hanging out in. Surrounding the town is a lot of forest land. I used WASD20's method of sort of drawing trees, just little nebulous lumps with some extra lining to them. And I also added grass like he did because I kind of like that aesthetic. I haven't named those forests or anything yet, or we haven't figured that out yet in our adventure, but I do like that there's some opportunity to explore with a path that goes through the forest in one area. Besides that, there's two other paths leading off the map. One goes past the farmland and into the distance, and the other main road leading into town, which probably goes to the next big city. You see it splits there. Maybe most tourists go into the main strip to gamble, but there's also those who go into the affluent part of town where a lot of the high-priced casinos will be found. Not too far from that is a lower income neighborhood that I devised here with just some much smaller buildings. But majority of the town I picture as being middle class. A lot of the people that run the casinos and things like that, and they live throughout in some of the larger buildings. Now, you don't have to know what every single building in your map represents. You can just populate it with some interesting shapes. Some common ones are that L shape and then just your general rectangle. What's nice about not labeling all the buildings is that moving forward, let's say you and your friends come to a library or something, well, you can just pick one of the unlabeled buildings and sort of imagine that to be the library. Don't feel scared when you're getting into drawing your own map because, from a distance it might look slightly impressive, but honestly, when you zoom into my own map, you'll start to see very irregular shapes and rectangles to most of my buildings. I didn't take too much time in each individual building, and so you shouldn't feel like you have to, take very much time for your buildings. Some general tricks that I found online when it came to roofing the buildings. You see most of my rectangular shapes, they have these two triangles and then a line across to give sort of a dimension to what the roof might look like. And then you just get creative with some of your different shapes to figure out at what angles those different corners and things might meet on the roof. Other than that, sometimes I just put X's on the roof, picturing just a general pyramidal shaped roof, like on a garage or something. I went in to add color personally because I thought it added a pop of intrigue. And so, just do basic. I didn't get too in depth. A couple different shades of green for the forest and blue for the river and brown for most everything else, just because I feel like those would be the most common colors of the time. I'm not sure how long me and my friends will be hanging out in Fortune City, but should we ever visit a new one, maybe I'll draw a map for that, and I could always include that in another video if this one takes off at all. I really appreciate you guys checking it out. I hope you get to draw your own maps because it's a lot easier than it looks. Trust me. You get a couple hours of doodling and coloring in, and it's a ton of fun, and you get something to show off to your friends next time you meet and play D&D. So hope that goes well for everyone, and thanks for giving me some of your time tonight.